Hey guys, welcome back to Tales from this side. I'm Grey Wolf, and today we're going to start our tutorial builds following Mythical Sausage's tutorials. I found quite a few of them that I really enjoyed. This entire area that you see around me is going to turn into that. Also, did a little bit of, not necessarily off-camera, but off-camera iron farm building, because we need a lot of iron. And that would be one of those farms that I told you hunting down and chasing would be so time consuming as far as finding iron. Now yes, you can find it by the veins, and I know that other people have proven that veins you can mine it out pretty quickly, but that's several hours, whereas this I can build and passively gain iron, and that is much more my speed when it comes to this. So there is an iron farm below us, and it does have the 20 villagers for bedrock requirement with the 20 beds if you want 2 iron golems to spawn. So we also have the center of our village, which I happen to take the bell from here. What we're going to build here is one of Mythical Sausage's towers, and it will keep us from being attacked from the ice area. And that ice biome, I imagine we're going to have a different type of tribe over there. So we're going to build it up 1 for 1 on this tower, and then we'll build another tower that is not 1 for 1, more of our own style on it, just like he requests. We're also going to rate each of his builds on 3 different areas. 1, how easy was the build actually to do in survival? 2, how easy was it to gather all the materials for this build? And 3, how long does it take someone who is not considered a professional Minecrafter or professional gamer in this way to create this? Now, I don't consider myself a professional. I don't get paid for this. I've spent more than 10,000 hours playing video games, but that's only part of it. The definition of a professional is someone who is getting paid to be in that profession. So we're going to go ahead and get like really rocking into this. I'm going to actually pick up the pace because it did take me quite a while. I had to follow his tutorial, and following that tutorial, sometimes I'll stop in the middle of the video. Sometimes, you know, I just have to keep in mind that I'm also, like, you'll see at points in the sped up portions where I need to keep just in mind that I am making a video, because some of the parts not necessarily were difficult, but he moves very quickly, so I had to pause and back up, and that's quite alright. That's perfect. So to be honest, once you get used to watching his tutorials and once you're used to seeing it, it actually goes pretty smoothly. You'll see in next week's episode where we are able to really mimic it. Now, as far as ease of types of building, to be honest, when you first start, this tower seems really daunting. And it kinda is, because there is a lot of material you do need to gather. However, as far as ease, we're also looking at its style and how it's built. Okay, so we were able to get all of the wood types except for jungle at this point from the wandering trader that we did not have. Okay, so you can buy dark oak saplings. You just got to make sure that you have a little village, and that's another reason why we started the iron farm. Now the beds will stay down there, and the farmers, or you know, the different villagers, will recognize that as their home still. So what my plan is I'm going to release them after we've built up this village a little bit. And here in a second, when we lay down, you're going to see that they're all kind of stuck in stalls, and that's your traditional way, but Mythical Sausage doesn't usually stick them in stalls this way. And like I said, it's his area. So as you see there, we've got plenty of stalls. We've got all kinds of different villagers. Right now, most of them have not been traded with. I'm trying to get a Fletcher to give me arrows of weakness since they've made that parity change. We can now start picking up arrows of weakness from Fletchers, which is really helpful, because then I don't have to go to the nether through all of the nether, and it's crazy dangerous stuff. Now, we will be going into the Nether, and I'm not afraid of it, but this early in the game, with as little armor and as little stuff as we actually have, is very, very difficult. I also found out that you can't actually ring a bell from the bottom. So, you'll see me come in and out, and this is the kill chamber. It doesn't seem very big. It's not a super efficient farm. It's not meant to be a super efficient farm. It's meant to give me passive iron while I'm building on this Mythlandia. I think that's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call this town Mythlandia, because it's kind of a compilation between all of Mythical Sausage's builds that are tutorials and some of my own inspirations on the system. I'm kind of trying to stick to the same aesthetics as he does, and I really, really appreciate, you know, how easy it is that he makes it to go into it. Now we're gonna get ready to speed up the video because there's a lot to go. Okay, so as you can see, we just kind of really kicked in there. But he actually doesn't make it very difficult to follow him. He enunciates his words, he's very, very clear about what he says. And speaking of being clear about what I was saying, when I said in the last video that he doesn't need any more recognition, what I meant more so was that he doesn't need my help receiving his recognition. He is a professional, and he shows it. He is an amazing builder, and I'm actually really excited. And it really, I'm happy that people like him exist, because to be honest, when I first started Minecraft, I actually thought it was hideous. You know, from an art standpoint, when I originally played this game, it was pixelated, and it was not what I wanted to see. Now, it's come a long ways. It's still pixelated, obviously. I mean, you can see each pixel in each block. But I learned to appreciate it for many of its aspects. Being able to step back and look at something that you've created, and being able to see such high detail, even though it's made out of entirely out of pixels. That is what this game to me does, is that it sometimes changes the light or the filter in which we look at the world. And I think that's actually I think it's pretty awesome. You know, the original creators of the game, I don't think ever imagined it to take off the way that it has, but it definitely has. We're gonna put a door right in here, even though there's a big hole in the ground, I do try to fill it later on, but it really hinders the farm. So I end up leaving it kind of an open space in the middle in the end, but I still want the exterior to look exactly like a one-to-one build. So with that being said, everything on the outside will be what he's doing. The campfires may be slightly expensive. Honestly, I don't believe so. You know, you can get charcoal from just burning up logs. You can get sticks from the same logs that you're burning up. So to be honest, nothing in this build is very expensive. Difficult to get sometimes, yes, but not expensive. Okay, so the dark oak, I just had to be patient. I had to work enough on other things. Now, I also wanted to mention that even though we're doing tutorials, I'm going to be switching back and forth. Alright, we're going to do a couple videos here in Mythlandia, and then we're going to head back over to our town, which we still have yet to name. But this one here was pretty simple. I wanted it to kind of be traditionally something for him. And if he were to ever see this video, I want him to look at it and actually be proud that he has inspired me to do this, because I'm almost positive that that's what he was going for. This build here comes out of his tutorials from 1.16 he put out a long time ago. I figured if I only did like 1.17 and 1.18, that wouldn't have been enough builds for what I want to see here on this side of on this portion. So we are going to adjust some of his builds. Like he's got like an ultimate barn that I think I'm actually going to change into a villager trading hall. But when we're done, I want him to see the fact that we did one-to-one build his stuff. We're going to rate it in sausages, by the way, because this is Mythland, or Mythlandia, I apologize. You know, and he's always asking everybody to rate it from 1 to 10 sausages. 1 sausage being, go back and redo it, and 10 sausages being, that's the best, you should never change anything on it. In all 3 categories, we will rate it this way. I will rate it at the end when we go over everything that we're doing. However, you can kind of get a good idea of how I feel about the style of building. It's not difficult. The scaffolding part is probably the most tedious portion, to be honest, but scaffolding is required in pretty much everything we do in Minecraft, especially if you're going to build anything that's tall. Now, I don't have scaffolding, and so because I don't have regular scaffolding, we are going to use dirt and wood to pillar. And we're going to nerd pull up. And that's okay, because it still gets the effect that we're looking for. This overall, I believe, took 5 Minecraft days. I did gather the materials with my son. That would be the extra helper I was telling you about. And I might give you guys a short clip here, probably at the end, to see, you know, him kind of coming through and playing with us. Now, I have multiple sons, and all of them want to give me a hand. They're all very excited about what we're doing. They really love it. They love watching, and because we can do cross-platform, you know, my son, you're not going to hear him talking most of the time, because he is usually playing while he's at his mother's. And so because of that, even though you may not hear him talking, I can kind of give you an idea of what we talked about. And we do some shenanigans. Like, honestly, in this series, I've probably died like 10 or 12 times already. Once was a couple times. Like, he's really good at this game. A couple times has been to him killing me. The last time we were up at the storage area, we were having a little fight that I had picked. I picked the fights, and we ended up getting caught out at night, and a creeper blew up part of the storage system that's up at the top, our beginner storage house, and he felt really bad. So, you know, it's okay, but that should go to show, like, what kind of person he is, and I'm very proud of that as well. You'll see him a lot. I have my girlfriend, she is also hopped on and helped with the next video. She is on there, she's helping. I did remove their names from above their head. I didn't figure out how to do that until afterward, or until after the first couple sets. So I was asked not to show the names above the head by the people that had done that, privacy reasons, and I will honor that. So you won't get to see them helping me out at the beginning, but you will get to see them helping me out here in a little bit, because now they're removed. Nobody wants to get blown up by other people. So we're going to kick into the high-end time lapse. We'll see you when we get back.
Hone your skills. Look, boy, you in the danger room. You in the danger room, come on now. It's like a dream. Everything moving fast, but you moving slow. Change the tempo, watch, we on time. Hey, now you know. Listen to the rhythm we giving them, we bringing it with passion. Smashing, you should just move to my groove. Case in point, watch how I improve. Then the automator is ready, you know we're header. A music motor.
Alright guys, welcome back. So, as I said, this is from 116, okay? The entire tower is now built on the exterior. The interior is not a one-for-one build. As you can see here, just an empty hollow shell. So all of the build comes from 116, so we match his block palette, the same 116 vibe. So that doesn't have the 117 update, nor does it have the newer updates for the new blocks, like with our cobbled deep slate and deep slate. It does not include, I believe 116 was the nether, no, it was it was 116 that became the nether update. So he barely has access to some of the others. Now granted, he is in a creative copy of the world, and in that creative copy, at the time he builds this specific tower, it is not available. So I must rate it accordingly, because I can't be like, hey, you know, Sausage, you could have used deep slate. Well, no, he couldn't have, because when he was making it, it was 1.16. So we have to judge it based off of understanding that. Now here is where I'm going to add the flooring, and I want it to be, you know, I thought it would be cool if we could do the interior, and the reason I slowed it down intentionally here is because you're gonna see that yes, we do still get some spawns because it is 4 blocks from the floor down there. However, doing the bottom half slabs here, it doesn't, for some reason it seems to slow down. I don't fully understand. It could be just a bug that I'm not understanding. I don't know, but I can tell you it does slow down the farm considerably, not even a little bit, and that's okay. We took it out, it worked out just fine. So as far as building it up, okay, it is time consuming. However, for ease, like the layout or the plan of the building, honestly, was probably about a 9 out of 10. I don't think I can memorize the entire layout of the building, and in fact I did try. For the next tower that I built, which you'll get to, I will show you here in the next episode. We'll kind of give you a little walk around with the next episode. But in the tower that I built, I tried to copy by memory, and there are things missing. There are things missing because I made it my way. In fact we used some of the nether, or I believe we used acacia wood instead, and some of the deep slate and a few other things. Okay, so we did change the block palette up to a more current block palette. However, so for ease, honestly, I would give it probably an 8 sausages. It wasn't that difficult to follow along. He makes it very easy. He's very well spoken. The hardest part, or in number 2, our second rating, is materials. So to gather the materials, it actually took quite a long time unless you start in like right near the edge of a dark oak forest, because dark oak is one of his favorite blocks. So we want to make sure that we are mimicking 1-to-1. So the dark oak was the probably more intensive one. I'm going to give that a 7 sausages. Okay, 7 sausages. And then the last one is the overall like response, or is it actually easy? And to be honest, that's got an 8 sausages. Like overall, I do believe 100% that anybody can copy this. As a new builder, not being a professional, anyone can copy this. But that's it. That's all the time we've got for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Love me, hate me. Well, also let me know in the comments. We'll talk to you again next week, and see you on the next episode where we got more fun coming.
If only I could turn back time.